Good morning from KETCHIKAN, the home of the salmon. And we're just about to get off board now, have a look around and do the Lumberjack show. So stick around to see that. So here we are at Creek Street. The salmon.
For the great Alaskan Lumberjack Show. Make some noise. All right, in today's show, our 4 timber sports athletes will be competing in teams of 2 in a series of challenges for the title Bull of the Woods. Our first lumberjack discovered timber sports during Ranger School and is a first-place competitor in the Northeast Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Aiden, the Iron Man, Aaron. All right, now that we have all 4 of our athletes in the arena, let's welcome them all with one great big lumberjack. Yo-ho! Our first event in today's competition is the underhand chop. Now this event simulates how a lumberjack would break up a fallen tree into smaller pieces for transportation in a process known as bucking. All right, in this first event, chopping for us today, we've got Aiden, the Iron Man, for Spruce Mill. And chopping for Dawson Creek is Spencer Sonar. Choppers ready. 1, 2, go! That's right, make some noise. Cheer on your team. They're making short work of the catch. He's turning up the speed. Cheer on, this is going down with a lumberjack needs a break. One way these guys would pass the time is by playing little games. A favorite being the axe throw, many of you saw an example of earlier. That's right, now the axe throw is also a useful way to mark a tree that you plan to fell next. Over time, this became an event in competitive timber sports. Now in this event, our athletes will be throwing their double-bitted axes into our axe throwing target, scoring between 1 and 5 points. Hoping to hit that 5-point bullseye right there in the Saudi. Make some noise. Two, back down, take that in the 3. It's touching. I'll let you 3 on that one. Yeah, it was touching. All right, 5 to 3, and Spruce Mill is in the lead. Ooh, 3 points for Ethan, bringing his total up to 8. Let's see what Danny can do. Ooh, 7. That's right. If Danny managed to hit a bullseye, that's the only way that he can win the bull ahead is a 5-point bullseye. Alright, our next team, known as M2 Racing Blades. Now our athletes have already placed their safety cuts, which will help prevent a slip or a jam, which could cost them time, the competition, or maybe even a finger. We have a splash zone, but not for that reason. We want to keep all fingers intact. All right, let's see who's going to take this next victory point. Will it be Spruce Mill or Dawson Creek? Well, let's find out. Sawyer's ready. 1, 2, go! Danny the Dynamite on Dawson Creek. 1, 2, go! Alright, you guys are both swinging for the fences. These are 2 powerful choppers. lumberjack would use in their 12 to 16 hour work days. Now, a PV would be used to help maneuver the log around the ground and help to stack those logs for piling. In this event, our athletes will use those PVs to first bunk their bunk log. They will then run across the mill pond, tag their partner, who will run to their incline log, grab their chainsaw, run up the incline log, saw one complete cookie from the end, run back down, get rid of the chainsaw, take their partner, make their way across the mill pond, debunking the log, and winning the race. There's a lot going on in this one, alright? Cut me some slack. Alright, so pay close attention, and let's get those chainsaws warmed up first. Alright, those chainsaws are warmed up and our athletes are getting into their positions. Let's see who's going to take this next victory point. See, Dawson Creek has some room to make up here on points. Is it going to be Dawson Creek? There's only one way to find out. Competitors ready? 1, 2, go! Professors such as myself, I don't use those big dangerous chainsaws. My trusty bullwhip is all the speed I need. There we go. Had to change the batteries recently. But my friend Aiden and Spencer, they use these chainsaws all the time.
Yep, all the time.
That's right. Aiden, why don't you tell the fine folks out there, what is it that makes a hot saw a hot saw?
Oh yeah, we stole them.
Aiden, I think you're a bit mistaken there. Steel is the name brand of our chainsaws, however, we do not steal them. I see something a little bit attached here. What's going on here? Why do we call this a hot saw?
Yeah, so first we actually tweak the carburetor, blow out the cylinder, add this big black expansion chamber, make it breathe a whole lot better, go a whole lot faster for you folks. Yo-ho.
Right, we're here, folks. In other words, these chainsaws are super fast and super powered, right? And with all that power comes a whole lot of noise. So, if you have sensitive hearing, young ones in the audience, or you just had a late night out on the Lido deck last night, you might want to cover those ears. Lumberjacks, show them the noise. On my mark, our athletes will need to cold start their chainsaws. That's with the saws off and on the ground. They will then need to cut 2 complete cookies from their logs. Whoever cuts that second complete cookie first wins this race. Who's it going to be, Spruce Mill or Dawson Creek? Cheer on your competitors because they won't be able to hear them. Sawyer's ready. 1, 2, go! Danny the Dynamite. All right. Choppers ready. 1, 2, go. And Danny is heading into the top, you would find a lead line running all the way down the mountainside to the ocean's edge. Attached to that lead line would be a bull block, which we actually have an example of here in our arena today, as well as choker cables, which would be used to tie around the timber, allowing those logs to be moved up and down the mountainside using a big piece of heavy machinery known as a steam donkey, which normally we would have set up in the arena here, but it looks to me like our fellas forgot their steam donkey. Let's find out what's going on.
It's more like one jackass in his stupid little podium. You know what? This event starts now. Go!
Alright, let's see what these fellas can do without the use of a steam donkey. We're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way through pure grit and determination. Now, whichever team can get their log up to their spar pole to make contact with it first will be the winner. Event is one of my personal favorites and also our most dangerous event in today's competition. This is the speed climb. This event simulates the duties of the high climber, whose job it was to create these spar poles. The way he would do it, first he would find the tallest tree at the top of the mountain being logged. He would then climb to the top, de-limbing along the way. Once at the top, he would cap the tree using a saw, an axe, or a stick of dynamite in a process known as topping. Although sometimes when topping a tree, it would begin to split, and the climber would need to bail or jump from the very top to avoid being crushed by the tree and the very rope that held him to it. In this event, our athletes will climb to the top of their spar poles, taking that red line at the very top, and bail all the way back down to their crash pad. Whoever hits their crash pad first wins. This is our most dangerous event. Climbing for you today for Spruceville is the Iron Man himself, Aiden the Iron Man. Make some noise for Spruceville. And climbing for Dawson Creek is Spencer Sonar. Stand by. Climbers ready. 1, 2, go! Are you all having a great time with us here today at the Great Alaskan Lumberjack Show? Make some noise! Well, you know what they say, all good things must come to an end. I know. But don't worry, we still have 2 final exciting events for you in today's competition. The first of which is known as the Boom Run. You see, after those logs made their way down the mountainside, they would then be tied together into a line of logs known as a boom raft, sometimes up to 2.5 miles long. That boom raft would then be tied to a tug to be pulled to the mill for processing. Now, the person in charge of this boom raft was known as the boom tender, and his job was extremely dangerous, as he could easily fall into the freezing Alaskan Ocean, causing hypothermia, or be crushed in between those logs he was in charge of rafting. In this event, our athletes will need to make 2 complete passes across our 4-log boom raft. Whoever stays driest the longest wins. Let's see what he can do. All right, a successful pass made by Ethan. Let's see what Danny can do. Keep that energy high for Ethan's second run. All right, Danny, you got one more run. See if you can make it across. All right. A sudden death axe throw tiebreaker. I'm sorry to spoil the fun. All right, now for our sudden death axe throw tiebreaker, our 2 athletes will each only get 1 throw, and 1 throw only, no warm-ups. Whichever can stick their axe closest to the center of our target will win this event here. So who's it going to be? Danny the Dynamite. Oh, out of the 3 ring. it might not be good enough. Let's see if Ethan. Were enjoying that cool, crisp, refreshing lemonade. Eventually, they get to arguing over who was the toughest and who was the best log roller and burler. Which brings us to our final event in today's competition, the log roll. This is the best 2 out of 3 events, and it's worth 3 flags. So whoever wins this event wins our entire competition. There are 2 rules, very simple. Rule number 1, no crossing that center line of the log. And rule 2, no touching of their opponents. I said no touching. Other than that, anything goes. So let's snap those feet, clap those hands, and let's get rolling. Try to steal the win. Can he do it? Let's find out. Where are you going? Can't leave quite yet. We're still at the end of our show here. What happened out there?
Alright, well, I'm pretty sure it's pretty obvious what just happened.
Yes, so we all saw what happened. How did it happen?
Alright, I don't know if you guys can hear him out there or not, but Ethan was saying some pretty mean things about my mom. No, they're not true. So you know what? I want you to know this move I learned this morning called the double whammy water kick.
The double whammy water kick. I'm not familiar with that one, so for those of us that have never heard of that, what exactly is a double whammy water kick?
Alright, it's an old move with the pros, and it's when you kick water and both feet at the same time.
I see. And how'd that work out for you there? Where did you learn this top secret technique anyway?
Aiden was telling me about it this morning.
That's starting to make a little more sense. Alright, well, Danny, are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. What kind of question is that? You guys saw me fall, right? Yeah, I came down. I laid pretty hard, you know, right on my bottom.
Yes, your bottom. That's right. But is your bottom okay?
No, there's a big crack in it now.
Man, that's just nuts. I know you're hurting a bit here, but if everybody promises to stand up, make an extra noise, do you think you have one more log roll left in you?
Hey, you guys want to see one more?
For the victory, let's see. All right, you are remember up on those feet. Let's clap those hands, stop those feet. Final log roll to decide who is our champion. Let's get rolling. Lumberjack show. From all of us to all of you, we want to give you one big Lumberjack.
One way. Block of land up there for sale. Isn't it? Lovely. Well, goodbye KETCHIKAN and Alaska. Next stop is Seattle in the US of A. We'll see you then.